Namam Vishnupadaya Krishna Prashtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Chaline Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pashatya Desha Tarine Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Srimad Bhagavatam, 3rd Canto, Chapter 30, Description of Adverse Fruitive Activities. We'll have text 4, 5, and 6. Translations, purports by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. Jantur vai bhava etasmin yang yang yonim manuvrajet tasyam salabhate nivriting na virajyate jantur vai bhava etasmin yam yam yonim manuvraje tasyam salabhate nivriting na virajyate janturvai bhavaetasmin yang yang yonim manuvraje tasyam salabhate nivriting na virajyate jantu, the living entity, vai, certainly, bhave, in worldly existence, etasmin, this, yam, whatever, yonim, species, anuvrajet, he may obtain, tasyam, in that, saha, he, labhate, achieves, nivritim, satisfaction, na, not, virajyate, is averse. Translation: the living entity, in whatever species of life he appears, finds a particular type of satisfaction in that species, and he is never averse to being situated in such a condition. Purport: the satisfaction of the living entity in a particular type of body, even if it is most abominable, is called illusion. A man in a higher position may feel dissatisfaction with the standard of life of a lower grade man, but the lower grade man is satisfied in that position because of the spell of Maya, the external energy. Maya has two phases of activities. One is called prakshepatmika, and the other is called avaranatmika. Avaranatmika means covering, and prakshepatmika means pulling down. In any condition of life, the materialistic person or animal will be satisfied because his knowledge is covered by the influence of Maya. In the lower grade or lower species of life, the development of consciousness is so poor that one cannot understand whether he is happy or distressed. This is called avaranatmika. Even a hog who lives by eating stool finds himself happy, although a person in a higher mode of life sees that the hog is eating stool. How abominable that life is. Text 5. Narakastopi deham vaina pumangs chaktum ichchati narakyam nivritao satyam devamaya vimohitaha. The conditioned living entity is satisfied in his own particular species of life, while deluded by the covering influence of the illusory energy, he feels little inclined to cast off his body, even when in hell, for he takes delight in hellish enjoyment. Purport. It is said that once Indra, the king of heaven, was cursed by his spiritual master Brihaspati on account of his misbehavior, and he became a hog on this planet. After many days, when Brahma wanted to recall him to his heavenly kingdom, Indra, in the form of a hog, forgot everything of his royal position in the heavenly kingdom, and he refused to go back. This is the spell of Maya. When Indra forgets his heavenly standard of life and is satisfied, even Indra forgets his heavenly standard of life and is satisfied with the standard of a hog's life. By the influence of Maya, the conditioned soul becomes so affectionate towards his particular type of body that if he is offered, give up this body and immediately you will have a king's body, he will not agree. This attachment strongly affects all conditioned living entities. Lord Krishna is personally canvassing, give up everything in this material world, come to me and I shall give you all protection. But we are not agreeable. We think we are quite all right. Why should we surrender unto Krishna and go back to his kingdom? That is called illusion or Maya. Everyone is satisfied with his standard of living, however abominable it may be. Okay, so these two go together. Om Agyana Timirandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshurun Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupakadamayam Darati Swaparantikam. Hey Krishna Karuna Sindho Dinabandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sutradevi Pranamami Hari Priye Vanchakalpa Tarubhyascha Kripa Sindhu Vacha Patitanang Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasari Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. So this is quite amazing. One may wonder how it is possible that even in hellish enjoyment one will be very happy. Well, as it is explained here, Srila Prabhupada says that Maya has these two powers. Prakshepatmika and avaranatmika. One that sometimes he so throws you down or pulls you down, and the other one covers you. And as he says here, the only reason one does feel satisfied, even in an abominable condition, is because knowledge is covered. So much so, as Srila Prabhupada says, that the development of the level of consciousness is so low, so poor, that one doesn't even know, am I happy or am I miserable? There's practically no difference because you just don't understand it, you don't see it.
На практика толкова е бедно в съзнанието на живото същество, че той дори не знае щастлив ли съм или страдам. Той дори не може това да разграничи.
Like the dog. You know? It's a good example because human beings have a special relationship to dogs. It's called the best friend. So, in some animals, one can observe when they feel happy or when they are not happy.
В някои животни можеш да наблюдаваш много лесно и да видиш кога са щастливи и кога не са щастливи.
Yes, even in the expression of the eyes and the features of what you could call the face, because I have a face, you can tell whether they are happy or not.
Дори само по очите можеш да видиш, даже и по лицето можеш да разбереш щастливо ли или не.
Yeah, and of course in human beings generally that's quite obvious.
В човешките същества това е даже още по-ясно изразено.
They smile or they, have a how you say, the opposite. Morose or a suffering kind of sad expression on their face. Unhappy.
Имат много такива щастливи лица, или понякога са мрачни, или понякога се чувстват тъжни, различни видове изражения на лицето.
Dissatisfied.
Разочаровани.
Many times it shows when the life is a little bit like this, day to day, then the mouth has this, in the emojis, in the little cartoons, they do this. If they want to express somebody who is not very happy, the mouth goes like this, right? And the other one goes like that. That's a practical observation.
И ако дълго време това продължи, особено в анимационните филми, виждаме, че лицето остава така. Така е рисуват, а когато е много щастливо, се рисува по този начин.
Even a child can make easily a face, a happy face and a sad face. You just do it with the mouth. The eyes are the same, the nose is the same, but the mouth goes this way or goes that way, and that makes the expression.
И дори едно дете може да нарисува тъжно лице, очите са същите остават, носът остава същия, обаче устата вместо да е така и обръща на обратно.
So in some animals, one can observe whether they feel okay or they're suffering.
В някои животни можеш да видиш, чувстват ли се добре или страдат.
In insects, very difficult to tell whether the ant is happy or the ant is suffering.
С насекомите е доста трудно. Много е трудно да кажеш мравката щастлива ли или нещастна.
But according to consciousness, highly evolved animals, one can tell.
Но според съзнанието, животните, които са малко с по-издигнато съзнание, човек може да каже.
So yes, in lower species, consciousness is not so developed and they don't even know whether they're happy or distressed.
В състояние на съзнание, което много пренизено, дори те не знаят щастливи ли са или не.
Now in this next verse it says that when one is illusioned, covered, knowledge, then one doesn't want to give up his body even if one is suffering.
В следващия стих се казва, че човек не иска да изостави тялото си, дори да страда в него.
Now, in an extreme case in human beings, we do have this situation that somebody has so much pain that they actually want to be assisted to leave the body. And in most of the countries, that's illegal, so they travel to Switzerland That's one place where you can do this legally.
Oh.
Yes. If you now you know, if you come to the point you want to die, you can get assistance in some clinic in Switzerland.
И в някои случаи болката е толкова силна, че човек предпочита да умре, вместо да живее. В повечето страни това е незаконно, обаче в Швейцария е законно. Можеш да отидеш, ако имаш много силна болка, да отидеш в Швейцария и там в една клиника да ти съдействат с някаква инжекция.
No injection, not necessarily. It's more sophisticated. You can have a drink which is prepared and you have to take it. So it's actually you. Nobody is inject. That would be like almost like murder. So that's illegal. You don't inject anybody. Even if they tell, please inject me. No. I give you, this is all prepared, but it's up to you to take the drink. Or some pill, or whatever they do, some even if maybe you inject yourself, you are explained how to do it, but I don't think so. It's easy, you get a nice mixture. It even probably tastes good. Last enjoyment. Have a nectar drink, then you just go to sleep forever, what they think. Rest in peace, after so much suffering.
И всъщност те не го правят инжекция. Това, което правят е дават му някаква напитка. Не го инжектираш, защото това ще е подобно на убийство. Дават му напитка, която може би даже е с хубав вкус и му казват, ето от тебе зависи дали ще изпиеш или не. И това му е последното удоволствие и те мислят, сега са толкова много страдания, вече почивай в мир.
But generally, and that's what Srila Prabhupada explains, and he says it also in classes many times, nobody wants to die. Even an ant, if it crawls and you go with your finger, it will start running to not get crushed. It doesn't want to give up the body. So if that is true, and here it is explained, even in hellish condition, if one thinks one is enjoying, then you're satisfied with that condition, although it's actually hellish.
Ако е истина, дори човек е в някаква такава адско състояние на съществуването, въпреки това той си мисли, аз съм удовлетворен.
So this is due to this avaranatmika potency, which means covering. So what to speak if one has what is called a very nice circumstance in life. Life is good.
Какво да говорим, ако някой има така хубави условия на живота и живота може да кажем, че е добър.
Yes, especially if you have the latest LCD screen from LG, then life must be good, and you're very happy and you don't want to leave that situation.
И особено ако имаш най-новия модел телевизор LG и тогава животът ти наистина е много добър.
Yeah, that's the advertisement, You take our screen and then life is good.
И те така казват, вземи си този телевизор и животът ти наистина ще стане много добър.
Yes, here they advertise, you come to Sunny Beach and life will be, for at least for 1 or 2 weeks, will be very good.
А пък тук рекламират ела в хубавия слънчев бряг и поне за 2 седмици ще се живееш много добре.
And the casino invites you. For free we will take you. Of course, then we take all your money, but for free we'll take you back.
Също казаното прави реклама ела при нас, имаме безплатен транспорт за тебе. Ще те докараме безплатно, ще вземем всичките пари, но поне ще те върнем безплатно.
So, yeah, if you have that privileged life, as they call it, you have a lot of money, you're a Russian millionaire, you're coming with a big car from over the border, enjoy on the Black Sea. So how can you think of giving this up?
Ако си руски милионер и се наслаждаваш по един прекрасен начин и преминаваш със своята луксозна скъпа кола и идваш на чебрег да се наслаждаваш, как изобщо ще искаш да изоставиш този хубав живот?
Yeah. So, and Maya is so strong, in any condition you feel happy, so what to speak if the condition, materially speaking, is really very nice.
Мая е толкова силна, че дори много да страдаш, ти няма да искаш да изоставиш своя живот, какво да говорим, ако състоянието ти е много цветущо.
So therefore Queen Kunti, she says that somebody who is in such a privileged condition of life, then it's very difficult to approach Krishna.
Това се казва, че ако някой има много благоприятни условия на живота, за съществуване, да се обърне искрено към Кришна е много трудно.
Yes, so what is this privileged condition? She talks about four, basically. Janma, good birth, high aristocratic family.
Тя говори за 4 основни добри състояния на живот. Първото е джанма или да приемеш раждане в богато аристократично семейство.
Now, just these last years, these two English princes, the sons of Prince Charles, then are having babies one after another. So they got, So they are born these small children are born in a very privileged situation. In the king's, well, actually, one of them, if later on the father dies and they're still around, they may become king.
И двете дъщери на принц Чарлз, една след друга, съвсем скоро имаха малки деца. И подобно раждане е много благоприятно в такова богато семейство. И когато баща им напусне един ден, те могат да станат крале.
So Janma Aishwarya means very rich family.
Janma Aishwarya означава раждане в много богато семейство.
Yeah, you are the son or daughter of a billionaire.
Ти си син или дъщеря на милионер.
Generally, you don't have to worry about even getting a job. You do it because otherwise it's boring all day, so I have to do something, But I don't have to do it to earn money.
И като цяло ти не се притесняваш за абсолютно нещо, дори и за това да си търсиш работа. Ти правиш нещо, защото иначе си отречен цял ден, нямаш какво да правиш. Но не е така, че трябва да събираш пари.
And then Shruta, somebody who's very educated, very learned, and becomes very well known for being expert in knowledge of some particular field in science or whatever.
Шрута, някой, който има много дълбоко знание в науката или в определен раздел от знанието.
You become a famous writer or something like that, and then you're known all over the world, so you're very happy.
И много известен, световно известен писател и от това го прави много щастлив.
You may get a Nobel Prize for one of your stupid stories you have written in.
Може да получиш така много награда за една от глупавите истории, които си написал.
And then, of course, Shri, physical beauty. You may be the greatest sinful person, but if you're beautiful, everybody adores you.
Може да си най-големия грешник на целия свят, но ако си красив, всички те аплодират.
Or sinful, or let's say degraded, or just taking drugs and having sex like a rabbit, but because you have a nice face, so everybody wants to take your photograph and he pays for that. You make a lot of money just by having a nice face.
Може да си да имаш много наркотици да взимаш и всякакъв сексуален живот да имаш, обаче понеже лицето ти е много красиво, всички искат да имат твоя снимка и даже плащат за това.
So all these opulences, good birth, and a lot of money, and good education, and beauty, they are really illusion. They are cause of being illusioned.
И тези 4 богатства, добро раждане, голямо богатство, красива външност и добро образование, тези 4 неща те причиняват илюзия.
It's understandable, yes, we can understand that easy to be illusioned because these things give you a lot of pleasure, enjoyment.
И ние можем да разберем, че това създава илюзии, защото това ти носи така някакво наслаждение.
But here the point is that even if you don't have these things, then you are born in a poor family. Yes, no money practically. Then you don't get a good education. And you may not be very attractive at all. The body is not attractive. Yes, and you don't have the money to go to plastic surgery. So you're condemned, to live poor, ugly, no education. What a life is that?
Нямаш пари да отидеш да се направиш пластична хирургия и заради това си проклет, да си останеш такъв беден, грозен през целия живот.
So sometimes, yes, people are quite unhappy with their situation.
И заради това хората се чувстват доста нещастни заради това.
But still, they are so much covered by illusion that if you offer to change the body, now you have to just give it up and you get another one, better body, they will not agree.
Но въпреки това, хората са толкова привързани, че дори да ми кажеш, добре, сега имаш възможност да си смениш това тяло, което имаш, което ти причинява толкова много страдания, с по-добро, ново тяло, хората няма да се...
So that's Maya's influence, even if the body is not very... Not a great source of satisfaction, still we develop attachment.
И това е работата на Майя, че дори от тялото да не е източник на много голямо наслаждение, въпреки това ние сме много привързани към него.
It says here, by the influence of Maya, the conditioned soul becomes so affectionate towards his particular type of body that if he's offered, give up this body, immediately become a king, he will not agree. In the middle.
Под влиянието на Майя, обусловената душа така силно се привърза към тялото, че даже да я предложи да го смени с тяло на цар, тя няма да се съгласи.
Yes. So this attachment strongly affects all conditioned living entities.
Тази привързаност държи всички живи, обусловени живи същества здрави, оковано в материалния свят.
So even if you're a hog, and that always this example is given because, here we don't see it because they're kept within some place, but in India they'll walk free.
In the Bulgarian villages.
So then in Bulgarian villages still you can observe hog life.
Да, в западния свят ние това не го виждаме, защото те ги държат в клетки и казваш, че в българските свят можеш да видиш прасета.
But possibly the Bulgarian hog is much more civilized than the Indian hog. Yes. I knew it. They're clean, basically.
Oh yes, it's not like India.
Not like India.
Yeah, it's really something.
So
especially in Vrindavan, I saw it. Oh my God.
There's probably no hog on the planet that can be compared to the Indian hog.
Oh my. В Индия обаче, особено Вриндавана, тези, които са ходили, могат да видят, че българските прасета са много по-цивилизовани в сравнение с индийските.
Yes, in Vrindavan you can observe them specifically.
Особено може да ги наблюдаваш.
Black and probably, or still dripping black water because they have been in this sewage, which is also black generally and stinks. I mean, it's really smelling really bad. There's no, it's not canalized. You know, here you don't see it. It's underground. It's in a tube. It's not visible. Right?
В Индия, особено в Вриндаван, може да наблюдаваш прасето цялото черно. И леко важно защо защото долу ходи в канала, по който върви упражнението. Тук всичко е в тръба и отдолу под земята. В Индия е отворено и мирише много лошо, когато се ходи там, за да е.
Yes. I mean, I spent some time in Juhu temple in Bombay, and the sewage was right behind the temple, and it like a river, black, stinking river.
Аз прекарах малко време в Джуху и канала е точно страни от храма и можеш да видиш черен и практически река черна, воняща река.
So depending where the wind came from, you would really be suffering, getting this wonderful smell all day long. You cannot escape. You have to wear a mask, which we didn't have.
И в зависимост от това откъде задуха вятър, климата става наистина ужасна и тя през целия ден и трябва да имаш някаква специална маска, за да се отдържиш от това, обаче там в Индия няма такива.
But there are living entities, even besides the hogs, living there, maybe even swimming in that liquid. And they love it. If you take them out and put them, then they will crawl back.
Но има живи същества, които те живеят близост до прасето и не само, ами има такива, които плуват вътре в водата и ако ги изкараш, те отново ще искат да се върнат обратно. Те ще пропълзят.
Like we have these examples of the fly, like some flies, they land on stool. They like it. They go there because, oh, wow, there's stool somewhere. Let's go. Shh, you know, flying rapidly. I want to be the first one. Otherwise, so many others come and I don't have a place on the stool.
Да, съпример с мухата, която надуши за изпражнението и си казва, о, това е приятно. Нека да съм първото, която отиде на изпражнението, защото другите изпреварят, но няма да има място за мен.
Next there could be a rose garden.
Съвсем близко до това изпражнение може да има градина с рози.
No fly will go there. They don't like it.
Няма муха, която да отиде пред розите, защото изобщо не им харесва.
Bees, they will probably go and take out the nectar from the rose. They will not go to the stool.
Пчелата, тя отива и отива в розата и събира нектар. Изобщо тя няма да отиде на изпражнението.
So according to the modes of nature, one likes a particular type of enjoyment, even if it's hellish. One likes it. Like it is said here in the verse, when one is deluded by the covering influence of the illusory energy, one is deluded.
Когато човек е заблуден от заблуждаващото влияние на материалната енергия,
then he feels little inclined to cast off his body.
Тогава той има такава склонност да се Cast off means?
It means to give up the body.
А той тогава има такава...
Even when in hell,
Тогава той няма желание да се... да напусне тялото, дори и да живее в ада.
Now hell doesn't mean the Christian type of hell, where you're somewhere underneath, there's some burning and you're put into some... No, hell means in a sewage, living in a sewage is hellish condition.
Sewage?
This black river is called sewage.
Yes.
Liquids that are coming out of different bodies and they're going there, whatever. And it stinks. Still, it's hellish, but you take delight in it. I like it.
И дори човек ада, ние като казваме да живее в ада, нямаме предвид само християнската концепция да живееш, да си под земята и да изгаряш огън в ада. Дори живото същество, което живее в този канал с изпражнението, това е един вид адско съществуване.
So these living entities whose consciousness is of no grade, like hawks, or any other of those who are living in that sewage, they don't understand their situation.
Тези живи същества, които живеят като прасе или като живеят в канала, те на практика не разбират своята ситуация.
So the human being has this privilege to be able to distinguish and see that this is not desirable.
Човешкото същество има тази склонност да прави разграничения и да разбере, че подобен начин на живот не е желан.
And if one is advancing in understanding and knowledge, then one will understand that even a so-called privileged or very nice situation in the material world is also not desirable.
Човек напредне още в своето знание, той разбира, че дори човек да живее в привилегировано раждане, да има богато и всичко да му е наред, дори това не е много желано.
And the simple reason is that was the point of the first 3 verses. Everything is under the influence of time.
За да разбере това, се връщаме отново в първите 3 стиха, които изучавахме. Защо? Защото всичко ще бъде изгорено под влиянието на времето съвсем скоро.
To go back to verse number 2,
Отново се връщаме в втори стих.
Kapila Dev says that whatever is produced by the materialist with great pain and labor for so-called happiness, then the Supreme Personality as the time factor destroys that. And for this reason, then yes, the conditioned soul laments.
Kapila Dev казва, всичко, което материалистите създават цената на тежък труд и горчиви страдания, последване на едно щастие, върховната божествена личност унищожава приема образа на фактора време. Това обособената душа скърби вечно за нещо загубено.
And that's a fact. Everything is becoming destroyed after some time, like these great empires that Prabhupada talks about. We talked about that.
И нашия опит е такъв. Всичко, което бъде създадено след известно време, било унищожавано, както ще Прабхупада казва в коментара към за тези всички големи империи.
So therefore an intelligent person will not put all his time and energy in producing something that will be destroyed after some time anyway.
И затова интелигентната личност няма да вложи цялото си време само за да създава неща, които с течение на времето ще бъдат унищожени.
Or only taking care of the body as the only goal in life to make it comfortable and improve the quality of life. If one has knowledge, one understands, that is not the goal.
Или да поддържа тялото си в едно добро състояние, или е целта на живота.
So therefore one will just do the needful to maintain, as Prabhupada says, life and soul, body and soul together, to continue living, but not more than that. Time should be utilized for cultivating Krishna consciousness.
И на едно място ще Прабхупада казва, да е необходимо толкова, колкото душата и тялото да са заедно. А пък другото свободно време той трябва да го използва за развиване на Кришна съзнание.
One understands that even if one goes to a heavenly planet, that's also a waste of time.
И човек разбира, дори да отида на райските планети, това също е една загуба на време.
So that takes some intelligence to see things as they are, not as they appear.
За да видим нещата такива, каквито са наистина, има нужда от някаква интелигентност, а не да ги виждаме такива, каквито изглеждат.
And the problem is, even although we may know now, right now, but we will forget. Yes. We will forget. Now we may, by hearing it, we may understand, but then we'll forget again.
Сега можем да го знаем в този момент, защото го чухме, обаче съвсем скоро, след малко, това ще го забравим вече.
The avaranatmika potency will act and cover our knowledge.
Avaranatmika енергията тя ще се задейства и просто ще покрие нашето знание.
And then prakshipatmika, we were thrown down again, into materialistic type of life.
А след това Пракшипатника, енергията тя ще дръпне надолу и ще застави да действаме в един материалистичен начин на живота.
So therefore, yes, Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya, we have to hear regularly to be reminded, and hopefully at one point it will stick in our memory.
И затова вече трябва да слушаме учим Бхагаватам и да се надяваме, че един ден това ще се запечата в нашата памет, нашето съзнание.
So, there will be more verses, more explicit. You'll hear about that. Many of those we will not like to hear. Therefore, many devotees even don't read Prabhupada's books. It's too painful to hear all that. This will be about adverse fruitive activities, and we like fruitive activities. It gives a fruit.
И ще има много други стихове, които така ще описват още по-подробно ситуацията. Някои трябва дори не четат книгите на Шрила Прабхупада, защото са много болезнени, защото тук се говори за неблагоприятни кръвоносни дейности, и повечето хора харесват кръвоносните дейности, защото дават различни видове плодове.
So, the day after tomorrow we'll continue hearing about how somebody is so much attached and thinking everything is very nice, life is good.
В други ден, ще продължим и ще слушаме как човек е толкова превързан и се казва, живота е много добър.
Okay. Everything is clear? No comments, no questions, right?
Всичко е ясно, няма коментари, няма въпроси.
Just have a nice day. Everything looks good today. There's no rain probably.
Why should be like devotee which don't want to read the Prabhupada books?
Why? What?
Why the devotee, like ISKCON devotee, should have more inclination to other books also?
I don't know. I mean, I just gave one probable reason. I haven't asked everybody why they don't, many just don't have time, maybe.
No, generally now we're seeing that the devotees reading more than the other books in Srila Prabhupada.
Yeah, so possibly. I mean, there's many things we don't like to hear. You will see the next verses. If you're attached like it's described, then why want you to hear that you're in Maya? That's very painful. Better you like the avaranatmika potency. Just become covered. Don't see it. Don't remember it. And if you read, you're reminded. This is not the right way. Oh no, don't tell me. Like people, if you thank you, I'm not interested. I like my life as it is. It's not so bad. Could be much worse. So to hear always this negative thing, it's not very pleasant. Anyway, that's my speculative analysis. Could be like that. Or you just don't have time. You have so many things you have to do on Facebook. How can I read? I can't do everything. I have to work and I have to answer all my mails and messages, and so maybe once a week we can go to the temple, and anyway, that's just, it's not applicable to everybody, but maybe to some. So best is not to fall into that category. All right, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Granthara Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Shri Gauravani Jai, Gaura Bhakta Vrinda ki jai, Hare Krishna.